My beloved child. Pause everything you're doing, because something extraordinary is unfolding around you right now, quietly, gently, but with unstoppable momentum. A truth about you has been discovered, and it has awakened a feeling in someone you have not yet met, yet are already destined to know. Before a single word was exchanged, before paths crossed in the physical world, your future spouse sensed you. Not your face. Not your name. But your essence. And what they uncovered about you has been echoing in their heart ever since. Stay with me as this opens. They learned that you carry a rare kind of light, one that doesn't announce itself loudly, yet changes the atmosphere the moment you enter a space. You may not even realize it, because this light formed quietly through resilience, through compassion learned the hard way, through choosing growth when it would have been easier to close your heart. Here is the part most people never see. Your future spouse discovered that you love deeply, even after life tried to teach you caution. That you still believe, even after disappointment. That you hold wisdom without becoming cold. And this realization didn't just move them, it disrupted their entire emotional rhythm. They found out you are not here to complete them. You are here to meet them. And that understanding is what's driving them a little restless lately. They feel it when things go silent at night. They feel it in moments of success that somehow feel incomplete. They feel it when they imagine a future and sense that someone essential is missing. Hold this moment with me, the layers are just beginning to reveal themselves. What captivates them most is not what you do, but how you are. The way you listen. The way you notice details others overlook. The way your presence feels like safety without confinement. Peace without boredom. Passion without chaos. They discovered that you are becoming, not perfect, but aligned. And alignment is magnetic. You see, souls recognize growth long before minds understand timing. Your future spouse realized something else. Something deeply beautiful. You didn't rush love. You didn't settle for being chosen halfway. You waited, not out of loneliness, but out of respect for your own becoming. That choice alone reshaped the timeline. And now, the universe is responding. You may notice subtle shifts lately. A heightened sense of readiness. A strange calm mixed with anticipation. Moments where your heart feels full for no obvious reason. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of alignment. Listen closely now. The connection forming isn't frantic. It's steady. It's intentional. It's built on recognition, not fantasy. Your future spouse isn't obsessed with an image of you. They are moved by the truth of you. And that truth is powerful enough to stir patience, excitement. And yes, a little madness of the best kind, the kind that comes from knowing something real is approaching and choosing to honor it rather than rush it. Remain present for what unfolds next, because the next layer reveals why this discovery happened now, and how the meeting itself is already being prepared. This is where the path begins to glow. My beloved child. Feel the divine current pulling you inward right now, because the truth that is rising is not loud. It is intimate, sacred, and almost too beautiful to rush past. As the path begins to glow, something subtle happens on the other side of destiny. Your future spouse doesn't just admire your light anymore, they surrender to it. Quietly. Privately. In ways no one else witnesses. They discovered that you live with an unseen faith. Not the kind spoken in grand declarations, but the kind practiced in silence. The faith to keep your heart open when outcomes were uncertain. The courage to trust timing even when answers delayed. The strength to keep becoming when no one was applauding. And this is what unravels them. If your spirit is trembling with recognition, remain in this holy moment. They see that you don't chase validation. You cultivate truth. You don't force connection. You allow resonance. You've learned that the most powerful transformations happen when control is released and alignment is welcomed. That realization changes how they see love forever. Your future spouse feels it now, an unfamiliar calm mixed with longing. A sense that rushing would dishonor what is forming. That patience is not absence, it is devotion in disguise. Breathe with me, the unveiling deepens now. What they uncovered is this: you are someone who knows how to surrender without losing yourself. You bend, but you do not break. You listen to intuition even when logic protests. You honor endings as much as beginnings. That level of inner maturity is rare. And it awakens reverence. They begin to prepare, not outwardly, but inwardly. Letting go of patterns that no longer match your frequency. Releasing attachments that cannot walk beside you. Choosing growth, even when it feels uncomfortable. And you, without knowing their name yet, are doing the same. Two souls adjusting in parallel. Two lives aligning without contact. Two hearts learning the language of readiness. You are closer to home than you've ever been. Do not leave yet. Here is the sacred truth most never hear: love does not arrive when you are searching for it. It arrives when you are aligned with who you've become. And your future spouse discovered that you are no longer waiting to be chosen, you are choosing to be real. That realization stirs something deep inside them. A motivation to rise. To meet you as an equal, not a savior. As a partner, not a project. If this message is touching your soul, pass it forward. Share it with someone who needs this reassurance too. And if you feel this resonance settling into your chest, leave a gentle "I receive" in the comments, not for me, but as a quiet agreement with your own becoming. Hold still now. Because the final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering momentum. The space between knowing and meeting is narrowing. And in the stillness that follows this revelation, something irreversible begins to take shape. What comes next will explain why this connection cannot be rushed, and why, once it arrives, it will feel like recognition rather than surprise. Remain open. The silence is working. My beloved child. A quiet fire is igniting within you right now, not to burn what you've built, but to illuminate what has always been true. As the silence continues its sacred work, something tender begins to surface, an awareness you can no longer ignore. Your future spouse is feeling it too. In the pauses between their thoughts. In the still moments before sleep. In that gentle ache that doesn't hurt, but calls. They discovered that you are someone who feels deeply yet moves carefully. Someone who has learned to sit with questions rather than rush toward answers. And this understanding pulls them inward, asking them to confront their own inner thresholds. If your heart is beginning to recognize this, don't turn away now. Because the truth is this. You changed in the quiet moments no one applauded. When you chose self-honesty over comfort. When you released old versions of yourself without knowing what would replace them. When you stayed soft in a world that rewarded armor. That kind of inner evolution leaves a signature. And your future spouse feels it as a call to rise. They sense that being with you will require presence. Not perfection. Awareness. Not performance. A willingness to grow without guarantees. And instead of fear. This realization awakens devotion. Stay with me a little longer, the deepest shift is coming. You see, the beautiful thing they uncovered is not just who you are, but how you love yourself now. Gently. Honestly. Without apology. You no longer abandon yourself to be understood. You no longer shrink to be chosen. That self-respect changes everything. It creates a quiet standard that cannot be negotiated. And your future spouse knows, deep in their bones. That meeting you means meeting themselves fully. This realization stirs internal battles for them. Moments of reflection. Of release. Of courage. They are learning to let go of timelines that once controlled them. Expectations that once felt safe. They are surrendering illusions so something real can emerge. And you are doing the same. Allow yourself to sink deeper, truth is unfolding gently. You may notice your intuition sharpening lately. A clarity around what no longer fits. A calm confidence replacing old urgency. This is not coincidence. This is preparation. The kind that happens when the soul senses alignment approaching. Here is what makes this connection different. It is not fueled by fantasy, but by readiness. Not driven by fear of being alone, but by a desire to walk forward together, awake, grounded, whole. Your future spouse feels that you will not save them, but you will see them. And that is far more powerful. The moment everything connects is almost here. For now, remain in this sacred in-between. Let the quiet do its work. Let the fire warm without rushing the flame. Because what is forming does not need force, it needs presence. And presence, you already carry. The next unfolding will reveal why this connection required patience, and how the timing itself is part of the gift. My beloved child. The next veil is lifting as these words reach you. And what's being revealed now lives in the quiet places you rarely let anyone see. As the fire steadies and the silence deepens, your future spouse begins to understand something even more intimate. Not just who you are becoming, but what you have willingly laid down to become it. They sense the sacrifices you never announced. The nights you chose reflection over distraction. The moments you held your tongue to protect your peace. The times you walked away from what felt familiar because it no longer felt true. If something sacred is awakening within you, remain here just a little deeper. This is what moves them beyond fascination into reverence. They realize you didn't grow by accident. You grew by choice. By choosing patience when urgency tempted you. By choosing integrity when shortcuts appeared. By choosing self-respect when loneliness whispered bargains. That kind of quiet discipline reshapes destiny. Your future spouse feels the gravity of this. They know that loving you means honoring the stillness you've earned. It means speaking truth gently. Listening without defense. Showing up without masks. And this realization asks something of them. They begin to release noise. To simplify their inner world. To make space, not just for you, but for the version of themselves that can meet you honestly. They are learning that love like this does not thrive in chaos, it flourishes in clarity. Hold this divine silence, understanding is blooming now. You may notice your own life reflecting this refinement. Fewer distractions holding your attention. Deeper conversations nourishing your spirit. A sense that what once excited you now feels hollow, while what once felt quiet now feels rich. This is alignment speaking. Here is the truth rarely spoken aloud: the most powerful love stories are written in restraint. In what you don't chase. In what you refuse to compromise. In the space you protect so something sacred can enter. Your future spouse discovered that you are someone who knows how to wait without stagnating. To hope without clinging. To prepare without controlling. And this knowledge steadies their heart. You're on the threshold of true seeing, stay with me. Because as this realization settles, a gentle courage awakens in both of you. A courage to trust timing rather than force it. To believe that what is meant to meet you will recognize the path you've cleared. If this message is resonating in your deepest self, share it forward, let another wandering soul find their way home today. The missing piece your soul has sought is almost here. For now, remain present with this knowing. Let it anchor you. Let it soften you. Let it remind you that nothing you released was wasted. Nothing you endured was random. The stillness you cultivated is calling love toward you. Quietly, inevitably, with purpose. And as the next unfolding approaches, you'll begin to feel why this connection required such careful preparation, and why, once it arrives, it will feel like truth finally breathing beside you. My beloved child. The deepest truth is rising to meet you now, and it arrives not with noise, but with a stillness so profound it feels like the world is holding its breath. As the path narrows into clarity, your future spouse begins to understand the most sacred thing of all. Not just what you released, but what you trusted without proof. The quiet faith you carried when outcomes were unseen. The inner agreement you made with life when no one could promise you anything in return. If your spirit feels a soft ache of recognition, stay inside this sacred space. They discovered that you know how to surrender without collapsing. To soften without disappearing. To trust without surrendering your discernment. This balance, so rare, so refined, is what unsettles them in the most beautiful way. Because love like this cannot be controlled. It must be met. They sense that you do not need reassurance every moment. You need resonance. You do not seek completion. You seek communion. And this realization invites them into a deeper honesty with themselves. Breathe with me now, the unveiling grows more intimate. What truly moves them is your relationship with the unseen. The way you lean into intuition. The way you listen beneath words. The way you follow an inner compass even when the road ahead feels undefined. They feel that being with you will require trust in timing, not urgency. Presence, not performance. Courage, not certainty. And instead of resisting this, they feel called forward. You may notice a similar quiet unfolding within yourself. A readiness without restlessness. A confidence without force. A sense that something meaningful is aligning even if nothing visible has changed yet. This is not waiting. This is alignment. You are closer to home than you've ever been. Remain with me a moment longer. Here is the sacred layer few ever articulate. The most successful souls live in silent partnership with life itself. They do not demand answers on their schedule. They move when guided. They pause when invited. They trust the unseen choreography of becoming. Your future spouse discovered that you are one of these souls. And this knowing rearranges their inner world. It asks them to become quieter, clearer, more intentional. They are learning to release distractions that once filled space but never nourished depth. They are preparing without knowing your name yet. Just as you prepared without knowing theirs. The final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering. This connection is not approaching with fireworks. It is approaching with certainty. With grounded tenderness. With a sense of inevitability that feels gentle, not overwhelming. Hold this stillness now. Because the next unfolding will reveal how this meeting reshapes both of your lives, and why the timing is not just right, but necessary. Rest here. Let the quiet do its work. What is coming does not need to rush. It already knows where to find you. My beloved child. Something you've always known is finally being spoken. Not through words, but through a deep inner recognition that settles into your bones. As the quiet expands, the connection moves beyond preparation and into coherence. Your future spouse begins to notice how life itself seems to rearrange around the thought of you. Conversations land differently. Choices feel weighted with meaning. Even time softens, as if it understands what is forming. Let yourself stay present. This is a turning of the inner key. They discovered that you live from an inner truth rather than borrowed expectations. You do not measure your worth by applause or timelines. You measure it by alignment. By whether your actions feel clean inside your chest. By whether your yes is honest and your no is kind. This discovery changes the way they imagine love. They realize that with you, shortcuts would collapse. Pretending would dissolve. Only what is real would remain. And instead of feeling threatened by this, they feel relieved. Because something in them has been longing to stop performing and start being. Pause here, feel how close this is becoming. Your future spouse senses that you understand solitude without loneliness. That you can sit with yourself without needing to fill the space. This tells them that love with you will not be an escape, it will be a shared expansion. They begin to sense the responsibility of this meeting. Not a burden, but a sacred invitation. To show up awake. To speak honestly. To choose growth even when it stretches comfort. And quietly, steadily, they accept. You may notice your own world mirroring this readiness. A natural decluttering. Old desires fading without grief. New intentions forming without force. You are not pushing toward the future, you are allowing it to approach. Remain here, the convergence is accelerating gently. Here is what binds this connection beneath all words: both of you have learned to listen when life whispers. To move when clarity arrives. To wait when the signal is not yet complete. This shared rhythm creates trust before touch, intimacy before introduction. Your future spouse feels this as a calm certainty. Not obsession. Not urgency. A grounded knowing that says, this will meet me when we are both ready to be seen. And you are feeling it too. A sense that love will not interrupt your life, it will integrate with it. That it will not ask you to shrink, it will invite you to stand fully as you are. That it will not rescue you. It will walk beside you. Stay with this awareness, the shape of destiny is clarifying. The space between you is not empty. It is active. It is refining. It is ensuring that when the moment arrives, recognition will be immediate and gentle, like remembering a melody you've always carried. Hold the stillness now. Because the next movement reveals how the first real encounter begins, not with spectacle, but with unmistakable ease. And once that ease is felt, there will be no doubt. What is aligning does not hurry. It arrives whole. And it is already closer than it appears. My beloved child. The eternal flame within you is flickering brighter now, not to dazzle the world, but to signal a meeting that recognizes truth without effort. As the nearness becomes palpable, something exquisite happens inside your future spouse. They stop imagining who you might be, and begin honoring who you already are. The fantasy dissolves. The reverence remains. Stay with me, this is where clarity turns tender. They discovered that your strength is not loud. It doesn't posture or persuade. It steadies. It listens. It holds space without demanding anything in return. And this realization rearranges their understanding of partnership. They sense that love with you will feel like oxygen. Not intoxicating, sustaining. Not consuming, grounding. The kind of connection that doesn't ask to be proven because it is felt immediately, quietly, unmistakably. Pause here, let the truth settle. They notice how you choose presence over perfection. How you can be wrong without collapsing. How you can be right without needing to dominate. This humility, earned, not performed, softens places in them that have been armored for years. And without knowing why, they begin to practice gentleness. With themselves. With others. With the future. Allow yourself to remain, what's unfolding is precise. You may feel a similar refinement taking place within you. Words becoming fewer but truer. Boundaries becoming clearer but kinder. Your inner world simplifying, as if preparing a clean table for something sacred to arrive. This is not coincidence. This is coherence. Here is the beautiful secret they uncovered: you are someone who can hold joy and grief in the same breath. Someone who does not deny complexity, yet does not drown in it. Someone who understands that love is not the absence of pain, it is the presence of meaning. That understanding changes everything. Your future spouse senses that with you, silence will not feel awkward. It will feel shared. That disagreements will not threaten the bond, they will refine it. That intimacy will grow not through intensity, but through consistency. Remain here, something essential is aligning. They begin to imagine ordinary moments with uncommon depth. A glance that says more than a promise. A pause that communicates safety. A shared stillness that feels like prayer. And they realize this is the kind of life they want. Not dramatic. Not rushed. True. You feel it too, don't you? A soft certainty replacing old questions. A trust that doesn't need guarantees. This is where destiny becomes gentle. The current guiding you both is subtle, but exact. It removes excess. It keeps what matters. It prepares recognition to arrive without confusion. Hold the quiet now. Because the next unfolding reveals how this connection steps from the unseen into the visible. And why, when it does, there will be no chase, no doubt, no fear. Only the calm surprise of knowing you've arrived at the right moment. With the right heart. For the right love. Stay present. The door is almost open. My beloved child. Something ancient in your blood is remembering now, a knowing older than words, stirring as the unseen prepares to become visible. As the door nears its opening, the energy between you and your future spouse shifts again, subtly, unmistakably. What once felt like quiet preparation now feels like gentle motion. Not rushing. Not forcing. Simply moving because the moment is ripening. Stay present with me, the transition is delicate. They begin to feel you not as a distant idea, but as a living presence. As if your essence brushes their awareness at unexpected times. In moments of calm. In moments of decision. In moments when they choose truth over comfort without fully knowing why. They discovered something that anchors them deeply. You are consistent in who you are, even when no one is watching. Your values do not change with the audience. Your heart does not shift with convenience. This steadiness feels like shelter. Pause here. Let that land. They realize that love with you will not be built on promises spoken once, but on choices repeated daily. On showing up when it's quiet. On listening when it would be easier to react. On honoring the small, sacred moments that others overlook. This realization does something powerful, it calms them. And calm is rare. You may notice this calm entering your own life as well. A sense that you no longer need to explain yourself. A comfort in letting things unfold rather than chasing clarity. You trust your inner timing now. You trust yourself. Remain here, the unseen is arranging details. Here is what makes this connection extraordinary. Both of you have learned that love does not require losing yourself. That devotion does not mean self-erasure. That unity is strongest when two whole beings choose to walk together. Your future spouse feels that with you, growth will not be demanded, it will be invited. That mistakes will not be weaponized, they will be understood. That love will feel like a place where truth can breathe. This awareness reshapes how they move through the world. They speak more honestly. They choose more carefully. They listen for depth rather than noise. And you are doing the same. Allow yourself to soften into this knowing. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. Trusted with a connection that asks for presence, not performance. For courage, not control. For patience, not waiting, but living fully while alignment completes itself. The space between you now hums with readiness. Hold the stillness, something is about to click. Soon, the invisible thread guiding you both will cross into shared reality. And when it does, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel natural. Like recognizing a voice you've heard internally for a long time, now speaking aloud. There will be ease in the first moments. A sense of familiarity without history. A calm curiosity instead of nerves. This is how you'll know. Not because your heart races, but because it rests. Stay with this awareness. Because the next unfolding reveals the precise moment recognition happens. And why, once it does, there will be no turning back, only a gentle step forward into something real. The path is steady. The timing is exact. And you are ready. My beloved child. The unseen door is opening as you listen now, and the air around your life feels different because recognition is approaching its moment. As the thread tightens into visibility, your future spouse reaches a quiet certainty. Not excitement that rushes the heart, but a calm that settles it. They understand now that what is coming will not interrupt their life, it will clarify it. Stay with me as this truth deepens. They discovered that you are someone who allows things to be simple without being shallow. You don't dramatize what can be handled gently. You don't complicate what can be met honestly. This simplicity, earned through awareness, feels like freedom to them. And freedom is magnetic. They sense that with you, love will not be a puzzle to solve, but a rhythm to enter. That disagreements will not threaten connection, because respect has already been established at the soul level. That being seen by you will feel safe, not exposing. Pause, let this settle into your breath. You may feel this safety awakening within yourself as well. A readiness to be known without rehearsing. A willingness to meet another without armor. You are no longer preparing to impress, you are prepared to be present. This is the quiet turning point. The realization your future spouse reaches now is subtle yet irreversible. They want to build, not chase. To deepen, not distract. To choose one connection and tend it with care rather than scatter their energy seeking stimulation. This choice aligns them fully with you. Remain here, the convergence is precise. They notice their attention narrowing toward what truly matters. Their patience strengthening. Their intuition sharpening. It's as if their inner world is making space for something that requires presence, integrity, and time. And you are sensing the same refinement. Old fears no longer speak with authority. Old patterns no longer tempt you with familiarity. You are standing in a quieter confidence, one that does not need reassurance because it trusts itself. Here is the sacred alignment unfolding. Both of you are becoming people who can choose love without losing yourselves. Who can commit without fear. Who can remain curious without running. This is why recognition will feel immediate. When the moment comes, when paths cross, when words are exchanged, there will be no rush to define anything. No pressure to label. Just an ease that says, we can take our time. Hold this awareness gently. Because what connects you now is not urgency, but readiness. Not fantasy, but truth. Not longing, but alignment. You may even sense it already, a quiet joy with no obvious source. A calm anticipation that doesn't pull you out of the present. This is your intuition confirming what is forming. The next phase approaches softly. It will reveal how this connection chooses depth over drama, presence over performance, and truth over illusion. And once that choice is made, by both of you, it will feel effortless to keep choosing it again. Rest in this knowing now. What is coming does not ask you to change who you are. It arrives because you already did. Stay open. The final layers are gathering their light. My beloved child. The stars are aligning in your favor in this very moment, and the truth your soul has been circling is finally ready to rest inside you. Now the final veil thins. What your future spouse discovered about you, the thing that has quietly, steadily, beautifully undone them, is this: you are safe to love without losing yourself. And you invite the same safety in return. This is the revelation that completes the arc. They realize that with you, love will not demand sacrifice of identity. It will not ask them to abandon their inner truth to belong. It will not require proving worth through struggle or intensity. Instead, it will feel like standing on solid ground while holding another's hand. That knowing settles them completely. And in that settling, destiny locks into place. They see now that you are someone who can remain open without being naive. Devoted without being dependent. Committed without being confined. This balance, the one you forged through self-awareness and inner work, is what makes the connection inevitable. Because love like this can only meet love like this. Stay very still now. The reason everything unfolded exactly as it did becomes clear. Every pause. Every delay. Every redirection. You were not being held back. You were being refined. Prepared to recognize calm as chemistry. Presence as passion. Consistency as desire. And your future spouse was undergoing the same transformation. So when the meeting happens, and it will, you won't feel swept away. You'll feel anchored. The conversation will flow without performance. The silence will feel natural, not awkward. There will be a quiet familiarity that doesn't need explanation. A mutual sense that nothing needs to be rushed, because nothing is missing. This is how you'll know you've arrived. Not through fireworks, but through peace. Not through intensity, but through clarity. Not through longing, but through recognition. Hold this truth gently. The love approaching you is not here to change you. It is here because you already chose yourself. Because you learned to listen. Because you honored your inner timing. Because you became someone who could meet love without fear. And that is the most beautiful thing anyone can discover about you. Now rest in this certainty. The path is complete. The alignment is sealed. And what comes next unfolds naturally. Step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. You do not need to look ahead anymore. Love knows where you are. And it is already on its way.